Welcome to Mission Frontline. My name is Mervin Stilinovic. Many regular churchgoers are often wanting to make church more appealing to young people who feel their church is sometimes irrelevant or not interesting. People in their 20s and 30s are one demographic who are in some churches poorly represented, and many parents and church leaders want to help them be part of a community of believers and cultivate a faith in Jesus. In search of a congregation that has tackled this issue, our film crew headed 3 hours south of Perth, Western Australia, to a little town with an overgrown railway line and a handful of buildings. What they found was an old weatherboard church bursting with energy, full of people of all ages who are loving each other and growing in Jesus.
People travel a really long distance to come to Kulikup. We have members that travel an hour and a half to get here. We have members who travel 3 minutes to get here. And we have quite a broad variety of people who travel to be here, and it's fantastic.
It's in the middle of the bush, like a small country town, but there's no town around it. It's just in the middle of the bush. There's nothing around. It's a place where you come, and though there's nothing around, you feel like you belong. People are, if you arrive, people will come and they'll give you hugs and they'll ask you who you are, and they'll really care about it, not just ask because you're there. They'll really care about what you have to say and who you are and where you're from and your story, and you really feel like you belong in somewhere, someplace if you don't feel like you belong anywhere else.
Kulikup is kind and loving and generous because that's just who Kulikup is. We don't design it, it's not planned. We don't have a welcoming committee. Nobody is designed to be there to welcome you because everyone will.
Welcome to Kulikup! Woo!
The church looks old from the outside, but on the inside it's a new vibe that you just get, and it's not your typical like hymns and organs and stuff. Well, I've brought a few mates down from school to come to church, yeah, and they quite enjoy it.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship Your holy name.
Something that I really admire about our Kulikup members is they have embraced what changes need to be made so that our young people feel happy and comfortable and inspired and like the whole place is fun. I am sure that our older members would much rather have the organ and the hymns every day, but they suck it up and they sing along loud with everybody else because really the young people love it. And so I can't have enough admiration for our senior church members because they have just done what has to be done so that these young people love being there.
If the youth are having a go, our motto is they can do nothing wrong. So if it's praising God in a song, it doesn't matter if it's got a bit of beat to it, or we just enjoy it. I've been to churches where the music's old and the kids aren't there, so we've got to move with the times.
We all are very tolerant of what each other does, and we embrace each member's talents, from the members who are, teeny tiny children through to the grandparents of our church.
As a young person, I was always happy to try a new outfit out at Kulikup because I knew that it didn't matter what we wore, or that everyone loved you and accepted you anyway. And so to be able to raise our kids and to be able to go to a church where they feel exactly the same, and then to choose to be baptised both in Madison and Austin and at Kulikup, and to have such support from everyone was just amazing for us, and to have that church family gives them such a sense of belonging, and it's fantastic.
I was baptised by Pastor Terry at my grandparents' farm in the front dam, where 150 people stood around the dam, and I chose to be baptised because I knew God was with me and I wanted God to be with me the whole time. It was just amazing.
I would say that it's definitely a nice and friendly church, and then the deep and spiritual comes. As a youth, when I grew up in the church, all I wanted was nice and friendly. And I really, really loved that they were nice and friendly, because then when it became time for me on a personal level to become deeply spiritual, I had somewhere to go. I had someone to call on, I had a pastor, I had people within my church who grew to love me as a young person growing up and then got to know me as a more spiritual person. So I think on some level, it's just fun and friendly. And on a deeper level, when you're ready for that, it is there for you 100%.
Over 12 months ago, we felt that we had such a huge group of kids that were very involved with Pathfinders and loving that. And then we had another couple, well, probably a group that was almost as big as the amount that were going to Pathfinders, didn't really have anything. So that's where the idea of the youth nights came about.
I got a lot of mates who are kind of a bit not sure about Christians, because I've met a few who were just a little too enthusiastic, for want of a better term, and you know they pushed them off a little bit. But they come down, they have a good time, bonfire and all sorts of stuff, and then it's just a good way to introduce them to the church in a gentle way.
One of the more inspiring things that I've come across with the whole youth night thing is people telling me about the conversations that they have in the car, the kids that they've brought home from boarding school, and okay, so we're going to this youth night, so what's going to happen, you know, what's it about, and how come you do it, and what is your church, and when do you go on a Saturday, you know, how come you do that? The questions happen because they're just going somewhere, and it's been put on by a bunch of people who go to a Seventh-day Adventist church. So just that kind of thing just helps to start to open people's minds. Our community has been a little bit resistant to any kind of, you know, well, just, you know, don't get too close to that conversation or you might end up at church, you know, like as if it's a bad thing. So we really do have some walls that we are on a mission to break down.
Tonight is a youth night that we run every couple of months. We have pizza, we have a few games about, sometimes we do stuff the next day. It's a really great environment just to come and have fun as a Christian group, and it's great to bring in new unchristian friends because it's not too deep, it's just fairly light and just a good fun night together, good environment.
Calv loves his pizzas, so we've mastered the art of making pizzas, and I do the doughs and Calv is the cook.
I cook them, and I think tonight we did 55. It goes down well, and they're very popular.
We've got the graffiti wall, so we like sheets of tin, just like painted for all sorts of things, names, drawings, all sorts of things, which is really fun.
The wall behind us here is the backdrop for our open air theatre, and so we've decided to make it a graffiti wall where the kids were able to come and make their mark, which was a bit of a theme of our youth night tonight. So exciting to have the kids come and to be so excited to bring their friends and spend some time in their world and share a little bit of their God with them.
I've been really looking forward to coming for like a long time. Yeah, just to meet some new people and make some new friendships and stuff and connect with God.
I brought my friends because I think that it's a really good opportunity for them to meet new people, and I think that a youth night is good because it's easy, it's light-hearted, it's just a good catch-up, and it's just a good way to introduce people to God, I think.
Tonight was a fantastic turnout. We had, I think it was around 85. It always dips and dives at the last minute with people that can and can't come. And look, the amount of non-Christians that turn up is fantastic, and people that haven't been to church for 20 years, for people that, you know, might have gone to Sabbath school as a kid. Just the opportunity for them to come and to be comfortable at a church event, to me, is just fantastic.
The coolest thing was that video that we watched on the projector before. Everyone gathered around, and that video was pretty inspirational. Definitely left a mark.
So tonight I brought a friend. Yeah, we've been friends for a long time, and yeah, he's not actually a Christian, but He's been once before and he really liked it. So yeah, he actually wanted to come and asked me to invite him to come.
I reckon this youth night and this whole church in general is really great. They understand youth and they organise events that we can really enjoy. It's a great, fun, good environment to be in, and yeah, it's just awesome.
If we don't encourage our young people, if we don't actually stop and make a mission, a vision that we want to have our young people in our church, to do what it takes to keep them there, then there is no future for our church, because they are the next generation. If they aren't inspired, if they aren't loved, they aren't cared for and nurtured, we're going to lose our young people, and that means losing our next generation as a church.
I hope that this missional story of Kulikup, the small country church in the middle of the bush, inspires you to use the means that God has given you to make a difference in your circle of influence. And if this has already taken place in your church group, youth, cell, or perhaps a school or overseas mission group, don't forget to share it. Email a brief summary of your story to missionfrontline@adventist.org.au. Thank you for watching.